Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're getting everything set up over here and started. Welcome to Youngstown's Talk Channel, produced by the MLO Bros and Youngstown Studio. We're live down here in beautiful Youngstown, Ohio. It is going to be a nice day today. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, a wide range of different things. But what the objective of this talk show is to give you a substitute for radio. News Talk Radio in Youngstown. Radio is no longer going to be in Youngstown. We see and are forecasting the end of local radio. So we're trying to create something that takes you from 8 a.m. in the morning or 9 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. in the afternoon that you can turn on when you go to work and listen to a wide variety of hosts talk about a wide variety of different things. So thank you for being here with us this morning. We appreciate you. If you're anywhere in the Youngstown.
How's that radio thing going, Joe?
I'm working on it.
He's working on it.
It's a work in progress.
I'm going to ask him every day until we're live.
It's a work in progress. On top of that, the MLO Bros Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. It's a little late. It's a little late for us. We got stuff to do.
The morning thing's working better, isn't it? We get more people watching. We get more views.
At night, I'm so tired. I'm much more of a morning person. Even though I'm kind of tired right now.
I'm exhausted right now, but it's neither here nor there. It's better now. We have things we got to do. To be fair, I have way more things. Like the boys are doing everything.
Can you pull up the comments so that I can see in case our audio is not there and I can see people's comments as they come in? Carter Stone says, "Good morning, watching from Kentucky. Thanks for joining us."
So before we went live, we were talking about like the swear words. So like when we go on to radio finally.
What we are and aren't allowed to say.
And Joe, you have a list.
Luke dropped a big one right before we started.
Way more than I thought there were.
There's way more than we're allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then we started talking about like the order of which, like some which will get you fined, some which will probably get you arrested, some which you'd like
absolutely canceled on all social media.
Like you walk outside, like booed outside, like in public, right? So
Robert Santos says the cutoff shirt.
I have my Save the Deer shirt on. I support saving the deer.
On live radio, Joe, am I allowed to say "finger me"? I'm Irish.
Sure.
That seems a little extreme too.
What election today?
We came hard with the shirt.
What does
Edmund just said? Did you get fingered? I love that shirt.
What? I'm Irish.
All right.
What does that even mean?
There are going to be a couple of these that are going to be difficult to say without saying, kind of thing.
This is not. I keep saying FAA. This is FAA.
FCC. And if you would like to call in before we go live on the radio here soon, if you want to call in and swear at us, feel free. The number's 330-595-1600, and you can guess which is the absolute worst.
Can we guess? Can we guess some of them?
Let's start by guessing.
Okay. So obviously,
Sarah Jean Oak says, "Luke, your boobs look nice today.
They're getting smaller.
Very perky. Very perky.
Smaller.
OMG. All right. Worst words. What do you think your top three you're not allowed to say?
Obviously, okay. Right out of the gate, the N-word.
That's probably going to do the most damage. As a white man saying the N-word,
I mean,
that's probably
like at this point, that's worse than any other word. Is that fair? As a white man.
And then there's differences too. Like white man singing a song, you're singing Snoop Dogg, and you say the N-word, but you have an A at the end. You're gonna get in trouble, but it's like, but then derogatory hard R, you are getting arrested.
Right. Yeah. Okay. C-word, as in the female part. That's probably second.
As in, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, that would be second. Is that fair?
See
That's got to be on
Tuesday.
Are those two on there?
That's a high one. That's got to be a bad one.
Yeah.
FAG. I'm pretty sure that word's fag's making a comeback.
Dude, that's bad.
I don't think it's nearly as bad as it used to be.
It's
not. You get more trouble in 2016 for saying fag than you would now. That and retard.
Really?
I don't think it's as bad as it used to be.
Bad ones. Stop saying this.
So that is not on the list, but GOT on the end is on the list.
GOT?
Yeah.
FAG. Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. I think that one's
worse. So you think one's worse than the other?
Yeah, because fag is still a cigarette in Britain. So I don't think it's as bad.
I wouldn't say either of those.
N-word,
like those.
The F word. It's see you next Tuesday. Top three. For sure. N-word, hard R is definitely.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I'm still of the impression like people say stupid things. You can say like, don't let words control you.
So
like I know it's FCC.
The same. So bad and that'd be brutal.
I definitely think.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're getting a little shit.
Yeah.
It has to be on there.
Yeah.
We're gonna. Okay.
There's three different categories. There is indecent language. There's unacceptable anatomical, and there is
That's unacceptable.
I've never broken this down before.
Religious profanity.
Okay.
So there's 3.
Religious profanity.
Let's try and cover each subject first. So unacceptable.
What's a religious profanity?
Jesus?
Oh, well, you can't say that. You can't say Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
And these
Our
are
Lord and
Savior.
right. It's also coupled with racial or ethnic, so religious, racial, and ethnic derogatory.
Oh, so you got like Jewish. You could do like
yes,
K.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even know how to spell that. Kike.
Ooh,
yeah.
Kike.
that's a rough one
You
there.
could get that one.
Yikes.
You could go.
I mean, you could go, man. We're gonna
go.
Camel, bad road.
Camel followed by the F word.
This is a bad road.
You could go that
Bad
route.
road.
Words are so much fun.
This is a bad
Words are so much fun.
But we're the reason, if you're just tuning in, we're exploring this so we know which words to avoid.
Right.
Where we go?
At the same time, in no way, shape, or form are we homophobic, racist, any of these terrible, terrible words that we're speaking. We are not any of those things, which is another argument. Like, you can say dumb words and not be a terrible person.
Cock, balls,
Definitely.
Cock and
That's
balls
the anatomical one.
together.
cock
Cock and balls. Is butthole on there?
asshole.
Nope.
I can
Let's
say
see.
butthole, but
So
I
we
can't
can
say
you
asshole.
can say it. No, you can say ass. It's not on there.
Vagina, C word.
Vagina's
cock.
on there.
Yeah.
You can't say vagina.
It's on
Isn't that an anatomical?
When you were referring to an anatomical story, news article, whatever,
You
you
could
can
do
say it. But calling someone one or
Isaac
whatever,
is a vagina.
that-
not
that
allowed.
is not allowed.
That makes sense.
But Luke has a vagina is allowed.
However,
If he
that
does,
might, if I truly had it,
How do you prove it? Prove it, Joe.
However, I don't have one. It could be.
Now, some of these derogatory terms, I don't know what they are.
Ooh,
and
you
they
don't even
might
know
be
what they are?
terrible.
Go ahead, read them.
WOG, W-O-G. Any idea what that is?
Let's Google it.
Wog.
Yeah, W-O-G. And then W-O-P, that would be
Wop.
for an
That's
Italian
Wop.
person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wog.
without papers is what that means for
Without-
Italian.
Did not know
Without
that.
papers.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
thought
know
that
that
was
for long
that son.
because they call in Peaky Blinders.
Wow.
The gypsies are calling the Italians wops, and I was like, what does that even mean? So I looked without papers
Ah,
because the Italians didn't have
that's an old.
papers.
That's an old.
That's an
one.
old
That's
one.
like our
Yeah.
grandparents. I know that was
Yeah.
insulting for grandparents. I remember that one.
And
I thought it was
then
like whap.
N-word,
Like,
and then
yeah.
K-I-K-E. That's a
Oof.
fun one.
That's a rough one, right?
And then gook. I don't know what a gook is.
that dude.
Gook is
It's Chinese,
it's Korean. It's from the
Yeah.
Korean War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in what's the movie? Gran Torino, he used to stack gooks like you, 6 foot high, using his
That's a
sandbags.
crazy
Yeah.
Brett,
movie.
yeah.
Great film, but that's a perfect example of a film where he starts out as a racist,
Yeah.
saying all these terrible things,
Ends up-
but then he
yeah.
ends up saving
Saving
them.
them.
Yeah, it's great film.
And then gypsy is also on there. I didn't know.
You're not allowed to say gypsy.
I
Luke,
did-
you're
I
pretty
did not
gyp.
know that.
You're a gypsy.
Spick. Ooh, that's a bad one too. Someone just put spick up there.
Yeah,
Dago.
that's
Dago.
probably-
Dago.
Dago. I've been called that before. I'm not gonna lie. Spick.
Isn't Dago?
It's Italian.
It's Italian. I thought it
Dago.
was.
Dago's Italian. For sure.
Huh.
I've been called.
I just love that on a government website that they have to spell out these words. It's so
words you're not allowed
like-
to say.
just it almost seems like somebody would get drunk and just do that whole paragraph.
Can I just
right?
read this? Can I read this line? Shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, bullshit, pussy. Acceptable words: anus, colon, penis, vagina. I'm just gonna read through this. This is fun.
Dude,
geez, I
wog,
read that
the
one.
wog is a racial slur used to refer in British English to Black or South Asian people. But then in Australian, the people are referring to Mediterranean people. That's interesting.
Man,
Never
this,
heard that one.
Words
this is right on the FCC website. Like they just spell it out.
Which is fun because you're not allowed to say it, but they can just they can just put it up there.
However, they do not spell, which is funny. They
The
spell
N-word.
everything else, but they do not spell the N-word.
They know it's the worst.
They
Top
do
of the
not-
list.
They do not. I mean, they go N and then ... Like they do not spell that word out.
That's interesting.
That is right. Yeah, they do not spell that word.
Dennis
out. Everything else is out.
or Denise
Wow.
says Pollock is fine. I mean, it's still a derogatory term, but see, the fun thing is I feel like even in Gran Torino, when you're messing with your friends, like when you're especially the old timers, they used to love making fun of each other using derogatory terms.
Dude, I was
like calling each other Dagos and Polacks and all that kinds of stuff.
What's his name from the 70s and 80s? He was in Casino. The comedian guy, not Pesci. He was a side guy in Casino who's like a boss. Not a boss. He was worked in the casino. Bald-headed guy, Don Rickles.
Yeah,
Don Rickles.
Yeah, they all picked on each other.
Dude, did you ever hear his stand-up?
He's rough.
I mean, if he did that now, like he was doing a like a roast of somebody, and it was like what a roast of Mr. T.
So that's
like, dude, you like it was crazy.
Well, the fun thing is like the words are only worse now. Those words are only worse now because culture has made them worse. They're still the same word. It's like just over time, words, but it ebbs and flows what you are and aren't allowed to say.
Wow.
So I feel like with, for example, fag and retard.
Like I hate those. I don't like either
the
of those.
early 2000s,
right?
That's I mean, you were gay and you were a fag. That's
what
you were called to make fun of somebody.
I don't like those. I don't like those at all. No, because I know people. Yeah, that would be offended by that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't hate those people.
I know you don't hate those people, but they would be offended by it. But like, I don't like those words.
So I have seen. What I'm saying is, I have seen you see it doesn't mean anything, or it's like it just means dumb,
right?
To growing, and then into the like 2016, it was like the most insulting thing that on social media you couldn't say it about whatever it was. Right. To now it's starting to fade again, and like comedians couldn't even use those terms, and now it's starting to fade back downwards. Like people don't care as much anymore. Right. So it's like it ebbs and flows. It's really interesting.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's the media? Do you think it's people? Do you think it's social media? Do you think
it's culture? It's if everybody agrees that that's wrong, it's wrong, and it's like that's why the N-word is like horrible,
right?
Because everybody just agrees it's terrible.
Yeah.
Which it is. I mean, that derogatory term has so much power behind it for so long to a massive amount of people.
That word's been bad forever. Not forever.
Yeah.
For the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Is that fair?
For sure. Crazy. For sure. It's awful.
All right. What a way to start off the show talking to. We just dropped we just got fined. We're off if we were on the radio, Joe, we're done. After
Rose says chink. Chinese derogatory term.
Another one.
Yeah.
I would say that this show is not safe for work. Like this is one of those.
Yeah, they have like playing it on their freaking computer right now.
Yeah,
but we got to have headphones. As I started out the show saying we want you to at home listen to us from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at work. Yeah.
What else is going on? So they're rescuing the astronauts.
Yes,
which is interesting.
Joe, that's like is this like your Super Bowl for you?
It is
because you just love SpaceX. Yeah. You love Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what are the chances of them blowing up in re-entry into Earth's orbit?
Don't even say that.
What are the chances of that happening tonight?
What would happen if they did? Are they blaming Elon Musk?
Oh, Elon Musk is the devil.
I mean, they did. Yeah, right.
Oh, he better. He is crossing his fingers. That doesn't happen.
He's like doing the math.
He's like checking everything, double checking.
Well, they've got 10 under their belt. So it's proven out. They're good at this. So
what are they? So it's coming back.
Yeah.
And it's going to land in the ocean, like with the parachutes, like you see on like the normal stuff. Right.
Yep.
And then, that's
so Joe, my question I've always wondered, cause I just don't know enough about it. The biggest issue, right, with re-entry is you're coming in like a meteor. So you're burning up, and then they have the shielding is really hard to make perfect as you're coming in through re-entry. Why did they not, why don't they, as soon as you start getting into re-entry and you're coming in like a meteor, why don't they slow it down so that you don't burn up in Earth's orbit?
It is 25,000 kilometers per hour is what they're traveling at. There is nothing.
Wow.
They almost have to let Earth's atmosphere slow it down enough so that rocketry and parachutes can even be effective. It is moving.
So why don't they, like, as they're coming in, why don't they just like do a burst so that you like slowly?
It's not enough.
You can't. You just can't. The pull is too strong.
Too much speed.
Huh.
So you have to just literally go at it.
You have to get deep into the atmosphere until you're slowed down enough for all that stuff to work.
Because you're going so fast.
Huh.
You can't flip a parachute at 25.
No, I'm not even saying that, but like you could use the burst of an engine to like as you're coming in, you get to like a certain couple 100 miles an hour burst.
Someone's watching the sci-fi channels.
Yeah, well, the capsules don't have thrusters, so all the booster stuff is gone. Yeah. It's just a capsule
because it's too heavy.
Yeah,
that makes
sense.
And
so they have little jets that when they're in space will shoot out a little bit of hydrogen or
shoot them in a different direction.
Exactly, and that's how they steer it. But the rest of it's all gravity.
And then they're just being pulled in.
Yeah, it is.
And then they have like an idea of where they're going to land, but they don't have an exact location, right? Like there's.
It's pretty accurate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought. What if SpaceX didn't exist right now? If SpaceX didn't exist, if Elon Musk didn't exist, SpaceX didn't exist, would any of this be happening?
Well, Richard Branson, he was big on space travel, so he'd probably still be doing it. Bezos, he would still be doing it. Boeing, like I don't think they have any business doing it, but I still think that they would have done it. Maybe not done as well, or we would not be got as far as we have.
Okay,
but I think it'd still be there.
The big thing with SpaceX though is those reusable rockets. Have you seen that freaking thing? The reusable rocket that comes in and like
comes in the arm, like, grabs
fires off and dude, that
really
is cool. That's like sci-fi stuff to me.
That's awesome.
That is getting closer and closer to us traveling into space, like humans,
because the problem is it's not getting to Mars. It's once you're at Mars, how do you get the hell back off the planet? So you need to land it with boosters to then be able to take off again and get back up into orbit to get home, right?
And then they have to actually take stuff there so that they need to manufacture fuel once they get there.
Right.
So they got to find water so they can get to their hydrogen and their oxygen,
create fuel.
They don't find water. They're effed.
Haven't they found water though? Didn't they say it's like an ice and stuff?
Yeah. It's deep into the,
So you're going to have to bring the stuff to create the fuel to get home while also having the technology to land, not destroy your boosters, then get back up into you might as well just like, hey, you guys are there forever now. Good luck.
The first couple will be all robots. Those androids will be walking around doing everything humans would do.
To get it set up for when the humans can. Yeah, that makes sense. Because like just fire a bunch of guys. All right, guys, figure this out.
Yeah.
We're gonna need 30 guys to go up there and get it done.
And then there's the whole these people are landing, they're coming home. They've been in space for 9 months. They've been in Earth's orbit for 9 months.
So it's every 2 years we can go there. And it takes about 7 months to get there. So
not Mars. I'm talking about the people who are coming back. But go ahead.
But you can't just go. You got to wait until the planets align in order to make the trip back. So if you go there now and go 9 months, by the time if you wanted to come right back, it's too far away. You got to wait another year and a half.
Because you have to wait for them planets
to be closer.
It's a 2.5 year gig, no matter what happens. Even if you go there and come right back.
What about the people who are coming back? This is another thing I don't understand. Why did it take so long to get them back?
Theories like,
well, dude, it's just get a spaceship up there and go get them, right? Like, how hard is that? Explain that to me.
It's effed up because it makes no sense.
That's what I don't get.
The astronauts were not in danger. The International Space Station has about 7 other countries' capsules.
Right.
If there's danger, they could have dropped them down here.
Right. That's what I don't understand.
But during an election cycle, do you want to hand Elon Musk
is that truly 100%? Is that 100% why they were up there?
So you asked me last time.
You do your conspiracy theories.
No. This is what Elon said. This isn't like you're like, oh, you heard it on a podcast, you heard it on Joe Rogan. No, this is what Elon Musk said. He's like, I'll go get him. And he said this in his words, I'll go get him. And then the government was like, nah, we're good, bro. And he's like, why? And they're like, we're good.
What was the other so Elon Musk saying that? What was the reasoning they were giving to the news media of why they wouldn't go?
I forget what he said in that interview.
I've never heard them actually say something. Only that they're working on it. So it's two things, and they
the red tape of government. Everything takes longer.
So you don't want to hand Elon Musk a victory during an election cycle. Or if it blows up on the way down there, you don't want that during an election cycle.
Even.
So either
way, if it blows up on the way, Elon looks like an idiot too. So it's in his best interest to wait too until he's in.
Yep,
stuck in. Let's ask Chat.
That I didn't think of. That's good too.
Hold on, we're gonna ask ChatGPT because I don't like that's like if you think about it, like I've never heard a true reason why. Like other than that one that you guys
just up until December of this last year, Boeing was going to try to get their capsule, see if it was good enough to bring them down. Remember, they brought it down empty.
Yeah.
And so like if they could just delay it for 3 more months and hit it after the election is what would have happened.
And there was some about, I want to say, the optics of Boeing as well, which Elon brought up in that interview, where he's like, Boeing and the government didn't have a good relationship because of all the issues that were going on within Boeing's planes. So they were worried about Boeing screwing up and making them look bad if they didn't trust Boeing, basically.
There you go. The delay in bringing NASA's astronauts Williams and Wilmore back to Earth was primarily due to technical issues with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft and the need to ensure a safe return option.
Yeah.
Starliner malfunctions. The astronauts originally traveled to the International Space Station aboard Boeing Starliner as part of a test mission in June. Spacecraft suffered engine malfunctions and helium leaks, making it unsafe to return. Extended safety checks. NASA and Boeing spent months diagnosing and troubleshooting the thruster issues that would compromise a safe landing. The agency had to ensure Starliner safety function. They had no immediate backup plan.
And then
that is crazy.
The other thing is, historically speaking, with the origination of NASA, right? So NASA was a government entity. It was the pride and joy of the government for the longest time. Now you have a private company in SpaceX that is trying to do its own thing separate from the government. And the government's like, no, we have NASA. Why would we trust you? And SpaceX is doing it better and more efficient. And he's trying to break through that stigma that no, NASA needs to be taking care of this because it's our pride and joy of the government thing. And he's fighting that battle. Like, he had so many astronauts that I've seen interviews of Elon where he's begging these astronauts to come see his SpaceX and show them everything. And they're like, no, we're not coming. It's about the government. It's not about you. And he's like, you're my heroes. Please come see. He's like crying.
Right.
He's like, these people were everything to me, and I want them to come see my place.
Wow.
And they won't, because it's about NASA. It's not about it. They don't want a private organization doing it.
Phone lines are open if you want to talk about any of this stuff. By the way, this is a call-in show, by the way, as we all just talk for an hour and a half.
Right.
That's crazy to me that they just,
it's politics, man.
They're stuck up there for that freaking long.
So then they get back here. Then they're talking about how, as a human living on Earth, right? You have a pen in your hand, you drop a pen, it's going to fall.
I saw that.
But then these astronauts are so used to no gravity, so they're writing with a pen, and they just hold it up in the air, they just let go, and it stays there. And then they know that they can come get it in a second, so they just take their hands. So they're holding their phone, and they're like, oh, and then they just drop stuff.
So listen, no,
they're not used to
it. So my boys got the metaverse thing.
Yeah.
The metaverse thing.
Yeah.
Have you played that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I did it for an hour. I got kind of hooked in.
Yeah.
I did for an hour. First off, I got seasick when I got done. I sort of got.
Right.
But so in the metaverse, you guys never bought these things. The Oculus is what it's called. It is insane.
Uh-huh.
Have you done those?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's insane. Yes, it is. But I'm doing it for an hour.
Yeah.
It's this Dungeons and Dragons game where I'm fighting things, picking stuff up. And
yeah.
I come out of it. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
My hands are my brain is trying to register them. Okay, got to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being there for 9 months and trying to do that?
Right.
You would be totally adjusted.
Same. It's crazy how adaptable humans are. We learn things so quickly and adjust according to the
100%.
environment around us so
100%.
quickly. Same with the Oculus, where you're watching something in your eyes and it's a video and you're
100%.
playing it. You can see your hands. So then you're okay, now I know where my hands are. And then
100%.
what was going on is I was trying to play it and the kids were playing around me. So I'd hit a kid. I was totally the bar. I hit the bar in your basement.
I hit the bar. I ran into the bar. But it was so funny. Ben will go down there and play sometimes. Ben will go down here and every now and then you just
yeah.
And then you hear ow.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so true though how we adjust. So we talked about me working on a cruise ship before.
Yeah.
So when I worked on a cruise ship for 5 months, living at work.
Yep.
Come up from work. I had my outfit on, so people say hello to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I'd always say hello to them because you have a name tag. Oh, hey, how's it going today? Hey, how's it going today? Hey, how's it going? As you walk through the ship.
Because everybody knows you.
Everybody knows who I am. And I'd say, hey, how's it going today? I would come home after 6 months, go to the grocery store.
Right? Say hi to everybody.
Dude, I am not lying. I'd walk through, hey, how's it going today? And people like me, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Weird. Exactly. Hey, what's going on? Hi.
Right.
That is not a lie. It was so weird. It was so weird.
For sure.
But your brain just adjusts to it. So.
But thank you everybody for tuning in, watching us. If you haven't already, give us a like, give us a follow. Go follow the MLO Bros. Go follow Youngstown Studio to get more content like this. Also, call in. We want to hear from you. The show's about you too. So 330-595-1600. Give us a call. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Did you read what the state of Ohio is freaking doing with the weed money right now, with the marijuana money?
What are they doing?
They are not dispersing it to the local governments.
So what are they doing with it?
They're holding on to it until they try and pass those laws to keep it at the state.
That's so annoying.
They swear to God, did you see that?
I did not.
They're holding on to the money.
They want to.
I pulled it up.
Because they want to keep it.
Because they want to freaking keep it. It was, oh, dude, I was so annoyed. It is, let me find it. Okay, so Ohio state officials are currently withholding over $10 million in adult use cannabis tax revenue that was designed for local municipalities hosting dispensaries. This decision has sparked concern among city officials who anticipated these funds to support various community initiatives. Background: under the voter-approved marijuana law, Ohio imposes the 10% tax on all marijuana sales. Let's see here. Current situation: despite the clear allocation plan per the voting, the state has yet to distribute the funds to local governments. As of now, $10.8 million earmarked for municipalities hosting dispensaries remains undistributed. The state's position, according to Pete Lapada, a spokesperson for Ohio's Office of Budget Management, the delay in funding distribution is due to pending legislation action. Lawmakers have yet to vote on the disbursement of the funds, causing a hold. They're basically, remember that law that we talked about? They're saying they're going to wait and see what happens. They know
it's happening. They know they're going to keep it. All the people are going to vote in the state government to keep the money.
If they do that, I'm going to go out of my mind. I'm telling you right now.
So it's like, oh, these rules are coming, so we're just going to keep it and hope that the rules change and we get to keep the money.
We voted. The people voted for that money to go to local municipalities. If these freaking Republicans, if any of our local Republicans do that, I'm going to call them.
So how it works currently is the local businesses pay taxes.
The people,
on
correct.
Or collect money from the people, and then it goes to the state level, and then it comes back to
it's supposed to go to the local municipality. So when Struthers, and when Austintown took a chance, did what the people wanted,
right,
and said, "Hey, we'll allow you to have it." That money's supposed to go back to those.
What would
areas.
The state use it for? That would be my question.
Who freaking knows?
Right. What would the state use it for? What would the local? You would as a voter living in Struthers, you would much rather it go to your local government.
100%.
Yeah,
because
it affects you more.
100%. Yeah. Because the people now here's what pisses me off about it.
Right.
You had like Santos. Okay. Robert Santos in Austintown. He was against the marijuana bill because he just, he didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
He voted to allow that dispensary, those people who went out on a limb to have that dispensary.
Yeah.
Because he knew the people voted yes.
Okay.
So he went against what he thought.
Yeah.
Which I applaud him
because the people wanted it.
Because the people wanted it.
Right.
And now you have the freaking Republicans in the state saying, we don't want to do that. We're going to change this. We're going to keep it for ourselves.
Yeah.
If you, I can't say that word.
Yeah.
If you guys do that, so help me God.
Yeah. And this is the Republicans at the state level.
If they do that, I will be calling Ruley.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you as voters decide something and whatever party
I don't give a shit about the party. I don't give a shit. I have said that
because we said something and you're not doing it. Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
The people voted.
That is a big freaking deal to me. That is a big freaking deal to me. Is if we the people vote on something, and then you the government change it saying we know better than you.
Right. And if there's two sides, that voted on medical marijuana use in Ohio, a lot of those people that typically vote Republican said it's okay too, in order to get that majority vote.
BJ, I know you're in the back. Earmark this right now. Mark this down. Hey, Republicans in the state, Ruley. Who else is a Republican in our area, Joe? I don't even know. I just know Ruley.
Yeah, Republicans Johnson, at the state level that are
Republicans at a state level. Listen to me. if you do this, so help me God, I will harass you into the ground. You don't think I will, but I will make you and your team cry on social media if you try and do this.
Catrona.
If
you do what? If they do what?
If you try to pass a law redistributing the marijuana funds to the state level from the local, I, Luke Schuster, will haunt your dreams. And I know the people at home know I will. Ask the Save the Deer people.
The people voted a certain way about marijuana, and you are trying to change it, keep the money yourselves, and not distribute it back to the local areas that wanted it.
That wanted it and had support from their local governments.
Yep.
Places like Poland Village that voted no. Places like Boardman that voted no. They don't deserve that money because they voted no. However, Struthers and Austintown and those places that voted yes deserve that money.
They took a chance.
Because they took a chance. If you do this, I am telling you right now, I am going to protest the hell out of you and make sure I do my best that you do not get elected.
Your constituents, the voters, decided something, and you're going against what they voted for. As politicians, you have to understand that's the wrong move.
Cool. So
I know you think that your Republican crazy right folks voted one way. Yes, but a majority of voters, and that means some Republicans said weed's fine. So you're going to go against that, and we are going to do everything in our power to tell everybody that you went against the voters and you do not deserve to be there. You will get voted out.
And you might think, oh, these two brothers on this little show don't have any pull. Yeah. Why don't you go ask freaking Ditzler? Why don't you ask Bob Hagan? Why don't you ask some of those guys that are sitting in the recliners at home if we have any say in what happens? Try us. Okay, I'm seeing that pisses me off so bad when you try it. Yeah, you get that, BJ? Write that down. Stop,
because we're not elected, but we can tell everybody what you're doing in a way that you can't. You might be able to finagle your way with your words and your stupid laws and jargon to try and make it look good, but when you really break it down, what you're doing is wrong. You're going against what the voters put you in there to do and what they want. That's dumb. That's so dumb as a politician.
Dumb. I just can't. I can't stand it. So I don't know who's running against DeWine, but it's all. From what I'm hearing, it's all DeWine, and if he does, I swear to God, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. Yeah, you go against the people.
Go against the people. It doesn't matter what party you're on. That's just wrong, man.
It's totally wrong.
Yeah,
totally wrong. It's why. It's the same thing that's going on. Totally sidetrack here. Local stuff. You have loud voices is what I always say. The people who are the loudest, but it's a small group of people.
Yeah.
Right now in Trumbull County, there is a dam, Leavittsville Dam. Every study you have, when you remove a dam, is
the water
helps the water.
Yeah.
It's bad because it like flushes the system out. So you get stuff that goes downstream and stuff like that.
Right.
Long-term effects, it helps.
Right.
There's like 15 people that live by the Mahoney River, by the Leavittsville Dam, that are complaining to Malloy and the people, the commissioners, to not remove this dam.
Why?
Because it's different. Because they said it's gonna stir up toxic stuff. They don't want kayakers. I have no idea. They just don't want change. It's a bunch of freaking 80-year-olds that have problems.
My question is, I don't know enough about it, but I always wonder if everybody's not on the same page. In terms of, there's a bunch of dams from Trumbull all the way down to the Ohio River, including the dams that are in Mill Creek Park. Mill Creek Park will never remove.
That's not Mahoney River.
That's not Mahoney River?
No, that's not the Mahoney River.
What river is that?
That's what is that? It goes from Mill Creek Park? Yeah, that's not Mahoney River. It dumps into the Mahoney River.
Okay, so everybody has to be
on Yellow Creek, or what is that? I think so. Yeah.
Everybody has to be on the same page though, right? Because if one person at the top takes down the dam, the toxic sludge just flows downriver to the next dam.
Correct. However, now they've removed a bunch in Youngstown, like from Youngstown all the way down to Newcastle, I want to say. I think that's like cleared all
the way. Everybody clears it, and then we could have kayakers through the Mahoning River, and you could put restaurants and stuff on the Mahoning River.
You can go from Warren all the way down into Logan.
Cool. That's so cool.
Right? Because it's flowing.
Keep it going, baby.
They said the fish are coming back, the water's coming back, like it's clearing up,
right?
All this stuff. Now you got these freaking like 15 people or 10 people in Leavittsburg that are bitching because they don't want the dam removed, right? Because, and again, they give no specific. They're like, oh, there's a study from like 1980 that says it's going to dredge up the sludge or something like that.
But it's going to break down river.
It's going to break down river and clean it out eventually, right? That's the point. And then what really pisses me off then is now back to the Democrats. You have Malloy, you have the other two guys in there that are saying, oh, we don't, they're fighting it. They're fighting the removal of the dam. There's a park up there. There's the, it's like kind of like the equivalent of the Mill Creek Park. Yeah. They're using funding. The commissioners are using funding to say, if you guys remove this dam, the park department remove this dam, we're going to withhold your funding.
So like threatening them.
That's bullshit too.
Does the park want to keep the dam?
Or they want to get rid of it. They started doing it. These people went to the thing and started complaining, and that's when the commissioner said, oh, we're going to hold your mouth.
It's interesting because it's like, okay, if those people live around the dam, they're going to be most affected by it. So they deserve an opinion. But at the same time, people are so afraid of change because they don't understand it, and they're terrified.
Thing, though, you clean that whole river up, everybody gets better. Everything's better from the top to the bottom. You have clean river. Our valley is going to survive, and we're going to thrive based on that Mahoning River.
Yeah, restaurants you need to bring it
going
back.
in. There's in Lowville, they clean that river up. Have you seen the new condos that are going up for like $300,000?
Right.
This is what we need. With that river,
you need attraction.
Exactly. That river, people flock to water, and if that place is clean, man, that's how it's.
You do all kinds of cool stuff.
Yes, that's it.
Can I add to this?
Yeah, add.
So it's complicated, and it is really going to take somebody to force communities to work together on this, because basically, and when we had industry, manufacturers spilled into there, they created a really big mess, like 4 foot of sludge at the bottom of the Mahoning River. Now, if a community will say Camel got federal funding to be able to dredge and clean that
which
part out,
did, right?
Right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
So their portion of the river, they paid a lot of money to do. But what about upstream?
Now it's
if somebody releases the dam,
it's going to come
bring all that dredge stuff, that stuff down into the part that was just cleaned up.
But isn't it going to keep going over time? It should. If the water's flowing, it should over time.
Unless they disturb it. It's so packed down on the bottom because there's heavy metals and there's, just sludge and whatever.
Right.
But if they dredge it up, they pull that stuff up to the top.
Morning. Thank you. We're totally live right.
What's y'all talking about?
Mahoning River. What? You're telling me you're not going to swim it? You don't want to swim in the Mahoning River?
Swimming in the river.
You hit the control key. Hit control. There you go.
Sorry. Mailman does not want to swim in the Mahoning River.
He's totally out. That is true. But
so anyway, what they have to do is have to go upstream to one dam, clean it up, then break a dam, clean it up and break a dam, and let that flow downward, but don't jack up Camel's nice pristine portion of it.
When they cleaned up Struthers, I remember going by there and watching that. They had like these big giant bags of sludge. Do you remember that? Did you see that? It was like these.
What do you do with that?
That's another problem.
Where do you put that? Pennsylvania. We drag bags of sludge up to Canada, and we put it in Trudeau's yard over and over and over. It's like, Trudeau, this is from Youngstown, Ohio.
Bags of sludge with Newcastle.
In that whole discovery, there's going to be some people that never got held accountable for creating that deal in the first place. So there's probably a lot of pushback into dredging that up, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And so like if there's a company that still exists, but they were responsible for putting that stuff in there, they could get sued. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of interest in keeping it at the bottom. Nobody messes with it.
So that's why they don't want to do it. Now, like when Struthers, and I'd love to talk.
Rip the Band-Aid. I say rip the Band-Aid off.
All that stuff.
For sure.
Because I know they dredged all of the bottom up, right? I think they were like digging up around the dam and all this stuff to get all the
so that when you take the dam out, it doesn't flow. It's there.
Correct.
Because you have the dam is basically holding back all the crap.
And the other problem, the other problem is too, I remember now that you just said it with the Leavittsburg and also with Mill Creek Park, is like people have like sewers and septics.
They dumped it directly into the river, the lakes. And then so that stuff's out too at the bottom of it, and it's all bacteria infested and untreatable.
That's what the water in Boardman is.
Well, Mill Creek Park.
Yeah.
So Mill Creek Park, boy, this is a good one.
Boardman refuses to fix, or they don't have the money.
Well, Youngstown. So this goes back to the city of Youngstown, and this is going to get me fired up too with the city of Youngstown. they've had since like the 90s an order from the EPA to fix the sewer systems that flow into Youngstown, that flow into Mill Creek Park.
Yeah.
Our beautiful, prestigious Mill Creek Park. They have kicked the can down the road since the 90s, over and over and over and over and over. They had like estimates and they never did it.
Didn't like the federal government
The federal government told them to do it.
Yeah.
And now they have fines backed up where they're getting fined because they're not doing it. And now it's like triple what it was 30 years ago.
Right.
And now they're starting to do it. But dude, do you ever go by Mill Creek Park when it hasn't rained in a while and it's hot during the summer? Do you ever walk through there? And there's like signs that say do not swim because you can see these pipes coming up and it stinks. Because it's like sewer.
But that would be so sweet if we could freaking swim in it. But it's like
you can't because they're gonna have I forget how much it's a bazillion dollar. It's a ton. You know what I'm talking about, Joe? It's his
Had Struthers and Campbell not gotten funding, they would have never been able to afford that.
Right.
It came on the federal level
to do it. Right. Because Kat was out there doing all her stuff. And I mean, but how do you not again, back to Youngstown. How do you not fix up our park? That's like our one nice thing we have.
It's a cluster. Nobody wants to touch it.
What? But why?
I think you got to rip the Band-Aid off, man. I'm
telling you.
You got to. And they don't want to.
So you're going to invest in the freaking chill plant that freaking cost us millions and millions of dollars and not
they
fix
thought that
sewer.
was going to work out great and there weren't going to be any issues.
Morons. They're just so dumb. Like they can't be that stupid, can they?
Yeah.
Like these are elected officials that die. I just can't. Like, chill, please.
And then the thing is, like, nobody wants to be a politician. You got to be some kind of crazy to be a politician.
Would you be a politician?
Absolutely not. No, I can't stand them. No.
But do you think you'd be able to do a better job?
Probably not.
Joe, do you think you'd be Joe would be a good politician.
Joe is cool.
Joe, would you be a good politician?
Be a terrible politician.
Why? Here, come on.
I'm like you guys, and I'm not looking to say things that are popular and be well liked. So I would have the shortest stint in politics ever.
Yeah, see, that would be my problem.
Yep.
So
like the Republicans would try to support me, but I'd throw them under the bus when I didn't agree with them, and the Democrats would do the same shit to me. So
I would last.
I
would last a month. I mean, there's no way because I'm going to say how it is, right? I mean,
because the second somebody screws you over, or the second it's like that they start playing the games, it's like no. And the other thing too is I'm way too honest. Like if I make a mistake, politicians need to admit their mistakes and move on. That's how you lead, and they don't do that.
Well, I'm a hothead too,
right?
And I'm emotional, so like I'm gonna lose my shit,
right?
Because like remember the whole thing with when it went for those of you at home when Poland Village would let us have the beer, and I spoke on the news and I called out the Poland Village, like that would be me in politics. I'd be screaming and yelling at everybody. You can't. Politicians can't be like that.
No.
You end up like, you know what happens? You end up like Jimmy trafficking in freaking prison is when they freaking come after you.
He was collecting money from both sides, is what they say.
No, I believe he was collecting mob money, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, mob money from both mobs, from the Pittsburgh mob and the Cleveland mob. And he's like, yeah, I'm buddies with both of them.
Wait, no, dude, Greg and I were on the same page. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's what happened. Beam me up, Scotty. Just no one tells your life here. That's what ended up happening. Yeah. I ended up going to jail. What else we got? Anybody else got anything else here?
Call in, guys. Thank you so much for watching Youngstown Talk Channel. We have 32 people watching live right now.
47 minutes already. We just
47 minutes in. Yeah, crush it. Please, if you haven't already, give us a like, give us a follow. MLO Bros and Youngstown Studio. Also, phone numbers right below me.
Somebody call. Give us something to talk about.
1600.
Somebody call in.
What do you have to say about the astronauts? What do you have to say about
anything?
The dam? Do you want to swim in the Mahoning River? Do you want to water ski in the Mahoning River? What are your likes? What are your dislikes of going on in Youngstown?
You want to talk about something?
Call in.
Let's talk about what I did on Sunday.
What'd you do on Sunday?
Joe, did you see my post on Sunday of the MLO Bros? On the MLO Bros on Facebook, I went to ChatGPT in the morning, drinking my coffee. It's like, I got an idea. ChatGPT. I said facts about, and then I would name a political figure today. Facts about Donald Trump. Facts about JD Vance. Facts about AOC. Facts about Joe Biden. Facts about this. Facts about, what's the name of the Department of Defense guy that was on? Hexa, yeah, with all the tats and stuff. Facts about Elon Musk. Okay. Set it all up so it would fire throughout the day. Every hour, you'd get a new person. Okay. Just on Facebook. Every hour would fire facts. Okay, nothing. And I read through just to double check to make sure it wasn't giving me opinions. I said, I do not, like in my thing, I said, I do not want opinions. I want facts about these people. So it was giving me like birth dates, when they were born, where they were born, all this stuff.
People fighting the facts.
Dude.
Yeah.
We had 1,000 comments throughout the day on each one about people arguing about the facts. Like I have never in my, and that was part of my experiment. Because I'm like, do you think people will fight over this stuff? So like with Trump, they're like, well, you left this out. You left this out. He filed bankruptcy. He did this. What about his tax returns? What about this? What about him saying he grabs people? But like, and then these people start firing back. And then like JD Vance, he had sex with a couch. He did this. He did. And then like AOC, well, she's dumb. Like, and it's just, and then they like in the comments, these people just explode.
Yeah.
And I had people messaging me like, why are you doing this? Like, why? And I'm like, because I want to just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Blackstone said, I saw that. It was great. It was like, you people fell for exactly what I was setting them up
trying to
do.
prove the point that it's like, you will fight about anything.
And it's the same people. So out of our followers, like at this point, I kind of know who the far right people are and the far left people are. So I did something on like Musk and it gave all the facts and they're just like, you even get in there. He's Hitler. He's a Nazi.
Right.
You know, and it's like, guys, I'm just literally listing out facts and you're arguing about it.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
It's
and then
Sunday.
People are like, well, he is a Nazi or he did this. Like, are we still arguing over his hand gesture thing?
I had somebody say that.
Yeah.
Somebody was arguing about the hand gesture. Like I wouldn't like I said something like somebody's like he's a Nazi because of the hand gesture. I'm like, seriously, you're still on that? And like I was trying not to say stuff like back, but some of these guys are like, he's a Nazi. I'm like, how do you know he's a Nazi? I need evidence. Well, then they show a picture of him doing that. I'm like, dude, seriously? Yeah, it's 100%. Like, why would he do that publicly if he's a
Greg
Nazi?
says, I swear, community policing needs to come back. People used to get thumped for saying dumb shit.
Right.
Christine says, you people in quotation marks. I loved it. Jeff says, I saw that. It was great. The interesting thing that people don't realize is these political parties and the news probably have these meetings where they're like, listen, this is our marketing agenda. This is the direction we're going to go. So if we say Elon Musk and we get enough people to understand
100%.
Elon Musk is a Nazi or this is bad for America, and we say it over and 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 over, eventually a majority of America is going to believe us. Like, did you see that video that was released by all the Democratic leaders where they said the exact same thing?
Yes, they do that on purpose, dude. 100%.
So it's like, all I want is people at home to realize that this is actually a thing. Like, it's not just conspiracy theorists that people are making this stuff up and trying to persuade you not to listen to your political party. No, it's like there's a marketing agenda.
They put it in
that
and
they
spit it
have,
out. Yeah.
and hey, we're all going to be on the same page about this. All the different politicians, all the news stations, and we're going to go in this direction to try and shed light on this. And that's disgusting.
Can we read the Bezos letter and have you guys comment on it, how you feel about it?
There's a Bezos letter?
Yeah.
Bezos letter on what?
Can you hand me the keyboard real quick?
There's a Bezos letter?
I don't know. So
I don't even know what we're talking about.
He bought a bunch of newspapers, television networks, and whatnot.
Is there more drink?
I don't think we have any more water. We can get more water behind you. I can just more ice.
Got it. Pull that.
Joe's getting the Bezos letter. Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos. Congratulations, Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos.
How did you get into the Jeffrey Bezos song?
You know that song?
I don't.
You don't know? Oh my gosh, what's his name? The comedian did a song, made a song about him that plays the piano. But Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham. The other song is CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964, Jeffrey Bezos. Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way, put your black into it. Tell us why, show us how. Look at where you came from. Look at you now. Zuckerberg and Gates and Buffett, amateurs can fucking suck it. F their wives, drink their blood. Come on, Jeff, do it.
We just lost all of our viewers.
It is-
Everyone is gone.
It is just opinion about the letter. I want to find the actual letter.
Isaac, would you like some more water?
Can they see us still, Joe?
Yep.
Okay.
Can they hear him still, Joe?
Oh, I know they love that song. Know it.
CEO entrepreneur.
I just don't. I don't know.
All right, if I find it, I will let you know.
Fine. Yeah.
What's it about? Give us the clip
So
notes,
it was
Joe.
basically saying that the Washington Post up to this point was very left leaning, the
Get my
opinion
eyes.
section, whatever. And it says we're going to change things and we're going to be heavy capitalists. We're going to,
Because of Trump being in office now?
well, it's because the newspaper was about to go bust. And,
Oh, okay.
the Democrats and the liberals weren't supporting it. And so rather than
Looks like
going
you got
bust,
a bag of meth. I've been watching. Look at that. Like I've been watching Breaking Bad
Here,
again.
Go on, Joe. Sorry for
Sorry,
interrupting.
Joey. I
ADD,
found out a bag of meth. Sorry. Go ahead. So
So anyway, they're trying to attract more business savvy, more right leaning subscribers to the newspaper to keep it afloat. So he basically told the
Interesting.
editorial department to take a bent and needed to be inspected to go in that direction.
has it been?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't read
See?
the Washington Post.
What's fun, right? What's fun about culture and what's fun about these people that think that they have the power to force you to think in a certain ideology or think in a certain way. Everybody says, like, all the people making the news say this is right or wrong. But then if the people disagree with that, they just won't buy it. They don't buy it. So if you put certain ideologies and ways of thinking into movies, into TV shows, in order to subliminally try and convince us to think one way, and everybody's like, that's obvious, and I don't agree with that, they just won't buy it. So you can't keep producing content if you're not making any money. So the culture will either go with what you're selling them or they won't. And if your ideology keeps trying to convince these people and they're not buying it, they won't buy it, and then you're forced to do something else, which is what Bezos is forced to do.
I think the only people buying the ideology of the media is the hard left.
Correct. And there's only so many people.
And there's only so many people.
Yeah.
And then also like Fox News
Right.
is the hard right.
Right.
And like that far right stuff. Remember that graph we had the one day,
Yeah.
right? I think a majority of the people in the middle have wised up to the fact
Right.
that what they do.
Right.
Prime example of that I saw this morning was did you see that they're saying Trump disregarded a court order? Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
Did you see this, Joe?
I was listening.
Okay, Trump disregarded a court order. Okay, that's what it says.
Yeah,
Trump disregards a court order. End of democracy. There was one that had him wearing like a king hat and everything, right?
Yeah.
Because he just what happened was, so the court ordered him to not send back a gang of like El Salvadorian gang members, right? Or something like that.
Right.
I don't know if that was the right country or not. And I'm like, oh shit. He totally disregarded.
Yeah.
You would think when you read that, the court said, don't you dare.
They did.
I need to do it. And he did it.
Okay.
However, when you dig into the actual article, what happened was the airplanes were already in the air with these guys to go back.
Yeah.
Then the court said,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
And they're already in the air.
They're in the air over international waters.
Yeah.
So then the Trump team's like, well, hey, they're already gone.
Yeah.
We're not turning these airplanes around
Yeah.
because they're in international waters.
Yeah.
So sorry. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So then it's going to come down to a court thing. Okay, who was right,
Yeah.
who was wrong?
But they are interpreting it up front as he just did it because he hates the other side.
Because he's trying to overthrow the government is literally what some of these news articles were saying. And when you dig in, that's not the case.
So, and that's a perfect example of you're saying one thing, and however people interpret it is going to determine what they think. And if they're like, well, these people are trying to bamboozle us that are writing this article, and then it's like, okay, I can't trust those people. If you can't trust those people, I'm not going to buy their information. I'm not going to read their articles. But it's becoming clickbait.
Yeah,
right?
Well, that's exactly what it's 100% clickbait.
Yeah,
and here's the problem. I clicked it too,
right? And you, even though you didn't agree with it,
I clicked it, and they got a click out of it, and they made money on it because we figured out you get 1.5 million clicks on something, you make like $300.
But if that keeps going in either direction, lying from the left, lying from the right, both sides, it's like we're getting to a place in the world where it's like I don't know what to friggin' believe anymore.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't want to believe any of these people because I don't know what to believe.
You can't.
So it's like I'm not going to go out of my way to spend my time and spend my money, and then they're wondering why we don't want to spend our money.
952 number. It's interesting. Oh, how do I do it?
No, you just say hi.
Hey, hi. Hello, caller.
Hi, yes. So Trump is invoking this Alien and Sedition Act from 1798, which is still on the books. And that says that he can deport anyone 14 years or older coming from a country known for invasion or known for predatory incursions. So what he's doing is perfectly legal, and he could do that and they don't get due process because the law is still on the books. But the media is going crazy. Right. So it's perfectly legal.
Which will eventually be determined in court, I would assume, correct? That would be my take.
Well, no, it's already determined. It's on the books. It never went away. So there's really nothing to determine.
So I don't know, but I don't know enough about the Alien and Sedition Act. I'm not going to lie.
From 1792.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not. Joe, do you know?
Well, no. It's from 1798. You can look it up. You can fact check.
Yeah.
Hold on.
1798, the Alien and Sedition Act.
You've called before. What's your name again, ma'am?
So basically, I'm calling in under the handle 17.
17. Okay, 17. I love that handle. Let's bring in our. We're going to bring in our smart person, Joe.
Yes, I'll put my glasses
Let's bring in our intelligent person that knows the stuff.
Here's the rub, and this is what they're fighting over.
Okay.
Whether or not these people were put up by a country or they were acting alone. Trump says that these are part of the country. The country is actually complicit in these people invading and terrorizing the United States. Therefore, it would be satisfied under the Sedition Act versus these people were just lone wolf terrorists that came in here, which would not qualify to be under the Sedition Act. So
the Sedition Act, according to Joe, the Sedition Act is a country sending in terrorists.
That's exactly
to mess with our way of life.
Yeah, so you have to prove that they're connected to.
So it's going to come down to interpretation of that act,
as always, which will go to the courts.
Caller number 17,
which will go to the courts,
and then they'll argue over it.
Yeah, and the problem is, they're committing journalistic malpractice, in my opinion, because they're just like everything they report on is Trump is wrong, Trump is illegal, Trump is a threat to democracy.
Trump is a felon.
Not journalism. That's not responsible.
Yeah. Well, that unfortunately is where we are. Yeah.
But I agree to an extent because it's like you're. Rather than breaking it down like we just did in an article and saying, here's what one side's arguing, here's what the other side's arguing, and you make up your minds, they put a picture of Trump wearing a king's crown and say he's a dictator because he's doing this. And I don't think
that's right. That's not responsible journalism.
No, I don't think that's right at all. Yeah. So it's like, why can't...
Yeah.
But that doesn't sell. So that's the problem. That doesn't sell. That doesn't get clicks unless you put Trump up there with a freaking king's crown on and make it look awful. So then people are like, oh my gosh, what do you do now? I have to go read this article and I have to see it.
Yeah, it's all about clicks.
So, but thank you so much for calling in.
I think the fake news,
go ahead.
I think they're overplaying their hand and just no one trusts them anymore and no one considers what they have to say anymore. I think we're at that point. You're always going to have the baked in 30% that's going to be the fringe, lunatic fringe, no matter what.
I think each news place, depending on which side they're trying to serve, those people that are listening are going to bite into whatever they want to hear, if that makes sense. They're going to eat what they want to eat, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to, you put it on a spoon. Oh yeah, he's a king. He's trying to take over.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Let's talk about it. So thank you so much for calling in, caller. We appreciate you.
Always.
Yeah.
Thank you. We got a couple comments here before we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dennis says nothing injustice about what you know to be true. It can only be proven in the court. Past precedents help.
Dan says
Hi,
the
Jan.
debate is which takes precedence, the old written law or the new judgment by a federal judge. That's interesting.
That's good.
Go down to Julie.
Hi, Jan. Jan used to work with me on the cruise ship.
Nice. Julie says, you believed the MAGA bend to the article. The court asked for them to provide a timeline of the planes. They refused. We don't know for sure who was on those planes. We cannot trust what Trump says.
I didn't. No, that is not. No.
A timeline of the planes. They refused.
I did not believe the MAGA blend to the article.
I think she's talking about her. I think she's talking about the caller.
She's talking about me.
I think she's talking about the caller. They refused. We don't know for sure who was on those planes. We cannot trust what Trump says. But the thing is, like, okay, you're saying that they didn't provide a timeline, but you don't know if Trump put them on the plane before or after, but you don't know what is true. Like, it goes back to the same, we don't know what is true. So you're pointing your finger and saying Trump's a liar, we can't trust him. But then at the same time, I point my finger at the other side and say, you don't know what happened either. So how are you? You can't trust either side.
Right.
So that's why everybody's confused. And the problem is, if we keep going down this road, what I tell the people at home to do is don't click on the stupid article with Trump with the crown on and try and gather facts some other way and give the money to the people who are actually telling you what's going on and not bending it to in the direction that they want. Those are the people that deserve the money. And the only way it's going to change is if society changes it and forces the good stuff out.
You're right, though. You can't trust either side.
No, you can't.
You can't trust either
side. The left hates him so much that they're like, no, we can't believe him. There was no timeline. We asked him for a timeline. They didn't give it. And it's like, well, does he have to give a timeline? And you can't trust what Trump says either because Trump, like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Kalen says, forgive me if
Kalen just freaking throws out another just a 360.
Forgive me if you already talked about this. If you have not yet, how do you feel about Conor McGregor's visit to the White House? He was there yesterday to discuss issues in Ireland. Dems are mad that the White House welcomed a rapist. So it comes down to interpretation again.
Yeah.
Is he a proven rapist? Has it been proven in court? Like, okay. And then the other thing is they invited McGregor in.
Dude.
McGregor's interview was bad. Like he was nervous. You could tell he got hit in the head too many times and he was really struggling over his words. But it's like that goes to show not everybody can be a politician.
Here's the thing. Let's be honest. Anybody that associates himself with Trump right now is going to be ridiculed.
Right, 100%.
Anyone.
Yeah.
The Pope goes to visit Trump right now and they have a nice talk.
Right.
He's going to get ridiculed about it. I mean, this is just the way it is.
Denise says, don't trust Trump. He hasn't done anything he said. Here's the thing, Denise. Or Dennis, whatever. Dennis. Here's the thing, Dennis. A majority of America, every single swing state voted for him. So every single swing state voted for him. So you have to give him at least a shot. I know everything you think he's done is wrong, but I think what he's done with putting Elon in charge of cutting the waste, eliminating waste, I think that's a good thing. Like, I know you think it's awful and everything he's done is awful, but there's a perfect example of something that the people who voted for him, they want him to eliminate waste within the federal government, and he's doing that. So don't trust Trump. He hasn't done anything he said. I don't think that's correct either. D-Nice. That was a bazinga. It's Denise.
D-Nice. I think Kellen needs to come in. Can we have Kellen come in sometime? Kellen, you want Kellen to come in?
Yeah, four of us. We could
all four of us. Four of us. She has to sit on your side, though. There's not enough room over here.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm big.
But it's like it all comes down to interpretation over and over and over and over and over and over. And all I can say is, like, standing as the person in the middle, you just, like,
people want to read what they want to read. People want to interpret it the way they want to interpret.
There's so many people that think Trump's the end of the world, and it doesn't matter what.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And then it's the people who are like, Trump is the second coming, and I don't care what people say. He's never done anything wrong, and he will never do anything wrong, which is not true either.
It's not true.
Yeah.
But people are so blinded by loving him and hating him. They can't see past it.
And life is not a 1 or a 0.
Yeah.
Right? Life is not black and white. It is a mess of different colors. And it's not a simple yes or no answer ever in any situation. But they want it to be because people are simple-minded.
So many topics and so many things have just like people draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
in every single topic, every single hot, super hot topic from both sides is very, very much not black and white. All the big ones: abortion, drugs,
gay rights,
all the different things.
Educate. I mean, you go for everything.
Are very much not black and white and hard to prove one way or the other. The only thing that's starting to happen that people are definitely starting to shift is like marijuana. Like people are like, no, it's cool. Like nobody cares anymore. So stop. You know what I mean? So that's the thing where it's like society is shifting and getting on the same page.
You want to know why I think no one has a problem with marijuana? I have a theory to this. Hear me out here.
Yeah.
In the 70s and 80s, okay, the people who were adults, so our parents, all smoke weed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Mom and dad, they'll bet. Like, I remember with mom, we were making
cookies.
We were rolling
clothespin
cookies. And she's, oh, it's like rolling weed. Like, it's like making a,
rolling a blunt like we did back
in the day. And I remember looking at her. I'm like, she's like, what? I was born in the 70s, right? So hear me out here.
Yeah.
The people who were against marijuana were like our grandparents, right? That was the say no to drug people, right?
Correct.
Those people are all going away one way or another.
Right.
So right now you have my generation, your generation, like 10 years, 15 years, right? Who grew up with basically weed, right?
Yeah.
And you have our parents who are not really against weed.
Yeah.
So right now you just have there are multiple generations that don't care about weed. That's why weed is passing right now.
Right.
That's my theory. How do you like it? Isn't that a good one, Joe? What do you think? Make sense?
Kellen says, heck yeah.
The thing about weed is, do you remember back late 80s, 90s? Like there was such a campaign against it. So they vilified it. So if you didn't care one way or another, you watch the eggs splash in the pans and say,
this is
that's my brain on drugs. I don't want that.
Right.
You don't see or hear
Which president originally, was it Reagan?
Reagan.
Say no to drugs.
Yep.
Reagan. That had a lot to do with money coming in, like Mexico and stuff like that.
Nicaragua.
I think marijuana is like that. That's not even it was cannabis, but then they made marijuana the name because marijuana is like a Mexican street drug or something. It's like propaganda. Yeah. Natalie says, glad to get a bit more conversation going on again in Youngstown.
Thank you, Natalie.
Dennis or Denise said, used to be Ron
Let's just call him Denise. Dennis, every time you call for now, you're Denise.
Ron Paul or not at all libertarian. Used to be Ron Paul or not at all libertarian. Then I realized Trump is the best. I'll get against the two-party machine.
Yep.
Patricia says, it will never cease to amaze me why anyone would hope for any president to fail. I don't wish the pilot of the airplane to fail, no matter how much I dislike them. Carter Stone, Nancy, just say no. But there's a lot in that decision too. There was a lot of like money influence too
for the
marijuana.
Oh, 100%.
Making marijuana, like vilifying marijuana, because there's a lot you can do with hemp.
It wasn't even that. It was a lot that you could do by arresting people, seizing drug money, seizing weed, seizing cars, seizing that kind of stuff too. The police departments were funded on that.
But that becomes an argument. The money is now becoming an argument for it, because if everybody's doing it, there's the black market. But if you legalize it and you make it safe, and it's not laced with shit, then it's.
But you got to realize, when I did my court stuff, when I did the court case, I was talking to some of the cops. When I was in the jury stuff, I was talking to some of the cops. I never realized they get to keep that money.
It goes to their local police.
Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
They get to keep the money. They get to keep the money they seize.
Yep.
So when they used to bust like people with all this weed money, and I'm like, dude, that's a ton.
Isn't it the chief of Poland Village currently? He was in and he was busting Lambert, he was in the DEA, and he was busting people.
I don't know if he was DEA, but he was undercover.
He was undercover.
Yeah.
So but because he was originally from Poland, the money that he was recovering in these busts was going back to Poland.
No idea. He refuses to talk about his undercover stuff with us.
Yeah,
Lambert
I swear that was a thing. I swear that was a thing.
Yeah, he refuses to talk about it. So, all right. Well, you know what? Let's wrap this up today. I got stuff. This night's out.
Sure.
You want to wrap this up today, buddy?
I'm gonna go golfing.
I'm gonna go play basketball.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go lift. I'm gonna go play basketball.
But thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please, if you haven't already, give the MLO Bros a follow. Give Youngstown Studio a follow. Also, Luke and I, we are loan officers. We are real estate agents. MLO Bros stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. So give us a call if you're buying a house, selling a house. If you need financing, we have a new listing in Youngstown right now. One of our investors flipped the house. It's beautiful. Go check it out. It's on our page. Call Youngstown Studio if you want to start your own podcast and come on here and talk about how the MLO Bros are stupid and whatever's going on in Youngstown. You want to give your opinion. Joe will help you start your own podcast. But thank you so much for the one caller we had for tuning in with us this morning. And stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So thank you all so much. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Thank you for your